I am genuinely considering moving away from Apple. And that feels like a really dramatic thing to say because 15 years ago, it was like, oh, Apple's the poster child of electronics. They're really slick, really striving to push beyond what is possible with technology. But I don't know, that's just not the case anymore. Today, we're going to do the 3.5-year review of this, my Apple Watch Ultra. It says 7% battery life remaining because I haven't charged it properly, because it's not as integral a part of my life. Let's start with the pros. It's still alive. Fantastic. Big tick. Maximum capacity of the battery after 3.5 years is 86%. I'm not mad about that. I mean, a bit nonplussed. I don't think it's degraded massively, but it feels like it has sometimes. It feels like I have to think about it more, but then I've got quite a lot of things to think about, so maybe it's just an extra thing on top of that. It was never mind-blowingly good. It wasn't like a week charge in one go, especially with the walks I go on. I can go out for a few hours at a time, and then that's all the battery gone even if you just charged it. That hasn't particularly changed. There's nothing to write home about in terms of any significant new dings or scratches to the surface. The sapphire glass and titanium outer bit are doing their job well. I've still not found a solution to the strap problem, but that's because my focus has been elsewhere. The three things it's most convenient for are a stopwatch for when I take my retainer out, though I don't really need to do that anymore. A torch because it's always on your wrist. And thirdly, finding my phone. I lose my phone a lot, and it's normally because I've sat on it. But it's still useful to know whether I've left it somewhere, but just knowing exactly where it is means you don't waste a few minutes trying to find it. I have a few new things that we haven't talked about before. They're not brand new. I literally thought of them right after my 3-year review. So they've been going on for a little bit, but we haven't discussed it yet. There was a weird update. So like, is it a normal update? And of course, if you don't update your Apple products, after a while, the battery starts going down really quickly, or it starts doing something weird and you're like, it's because an update is needed. They do that. It's like they build it in, so you have to update. So one of the updates maybe 6 months ago caused the clock to jolt. So I'll glance at my wrist and I'll be like, 3:15. I'll go, fantastic. If I wait another second, it will jolt to the correct time. So it's 3:45, for example. I mean, it's not ideal. It doesn't matter massively, apart from the fact that I'm trying to keep track of the time. So sometimes it'll show 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and that's quite a big jump. But even 15 minutes for a clock, not really ideal. I want to call that one out. Hasn't gone away with the more recent update. Don't know what that's about. The other thing it has never done is it doesn't update automatically when it's on the charger. The whole benefit of the watch's battery life is that you can wear it while you sleep and it gives you sleep scores and all the rest of it. But it's like, I'll update overnight. That doesn't work for a wearable. I want you to update when you're on the charger. It's a weird thing because they want you to update and yet they don't make it easy for you to do so. You have to force it to update, even though I've got auto updates on. It's like, I'll update overnight. I don't want you to update overnight. I'm wearing you overnight. I want to know how much sleep I got. Even though nowadays that's quite depressing. Oh, you've had 3 hours. Thank you. Thank you for that. I said I'm thinking about moving away from the Apple ecosystem. That is a little bit tricky for me to do off the bat. I have a MacBook Pro, I have this watch, I have my phone, which is an iPhone Pro. They work together pretty well. I like the smoothness of the Apple ecosystem. But what I don't like is you're buying this aspirational product that becomes obsolete after a year. I've said it all throughout the Apple Watch Ultra updates. I was really hoping this Ultra would not be obsolete in a year. And that was on me. That was my expectations, or at least not expectations. It was my hopes that it would be slightly more rugged, smaller market, more premium thing. But it's not. And it's a nice product, don't get me wrong. But I still feel like if I've got all these notifications on my wrist, I'm not being present for my family. And that has become more of a thing. I can feel myself whenever it buzzes going, oh, what's that? Is it something important or not? But that very act of glancing away going, this is more important than you, that is not okay. That is not who I want to be. So this wearable, I don't think I'm going to replace it. I quite like having some metrics, but to be honest, the day's just going by. If I want to keep the metrics, I might go for something that I was moving away from the beginning, like a really simple Fitbit or something. But even that's annoying. You have to keep track of the battery. You don't have a torch built in. You don't have any of the benefits of this. And it's annoying on your wrist. It catches things occasionally. I said at the beginning, the size of this wasn't a particular issue for me, and it's not particularly. Anything on my wrist is annoying. I just think in order to maintain loyalty, I would have needed to be more impressed at this point. It's still working, but that is not an accolade. That is an expectation that has been met. I am not planning on replacing this. I might even sell it on. These formative years for my family, it's very important that I'm present. I'm not very good at not being distracted anyway. I'm very passionate about doing a good job, but I want to do a good job by the people I love. And that does not include glancing at my wrist every time it buzzes. That's not okay. I haven't taken it off yet. I don't know when I will, but I'm pretty sure I will. So to circle all this back to, is the Apple Watch Ultra good for women after 3.5 years? I bought this for security, for being able to find my car in a parking lot for being able to find my way back. But I don't really need it. I maybe needed it to start with because we were traveling, but I didn't really use those functions apart from to find the car the odd time. Does it track my health data? I think so. It at least gives me something that I can track over time. Is it 100% accurate? Probably not. I've not ever had it calibrated and you can't guarantee it. Is that information necessary? No. If we tracked every single metric ever, we would find something wrong. That's a guarantee. Things go wrong in your body all the time and your body deals with it. Being able to actually isolate what is important at going wrong, what's irreversible or something that needs intervention, that is the whole point of health professionals. Do I think that the health system in the UK could integrate with wearables or something to maintain a baseline and work more things out? Yes, I do. But is this thing on my wrist going to be the answer? I don't think so. This is not moving at the speed with which I think it would be useful to continue. It's still telling me my VO2 max is low or I'm not getting enough sleep. I know, and it knows the reason for that is because I've just had a baby. Instead of doing things that might inspire my loyalty, like telling me I'm doing a good job, giving me the odd thing for free because my pay is shite, having baby and mum specific workouts, none of those things are linked into the Apple ecosystem. And if I did have more disposable income, then I might well use them. But it's not even trying. So like with the processed food endemic, I feel like in order to move away from the screen endemic, and I'm not good at doing this anyway, I need to make conscious choices, and wearing a health wearable that's got more functionality in terms of screens is not a good idea. If I do a 4-year update of the Apple Watch Ultra, I hope that update is going to be I've taken it off and that's the end of it. I feel stupidly nervous saying that. Not with any issue with the Apple ecosystem coming after me or something. It's just losing the metrics. It's also that I spent a lot of money on it, but it shouldn't inspire loyalty because of that. That is a sunk cost now. That's in the past. If I get money from it, great. I probably can't. That is the harsh reality of Apple products. By the way, you really can't get money from it. Maybe like a voucher off. It's not exactly ideal if it's 15 quid. If you actually keep them for the entire cycle, they're not really worth anything by the end of it. Yeah, I need to let that bed in. I didn't think I'd be saying this at all because it's a snazzy piece of tech. I just want more. I want to be given what I feel like I would give back. I think I said this at the beginning. When you're buying this sort of thing, you're buying that product there. Do not bank on future updates unless they said specifically. But even then, you don't know when it's going to be, if it's going to be. Might have to get a different wearable at some point to kind of ease myself into not having the magics. That's another thing to think about at some point. And I bet selling this wouldn't cover it either. I have to balance the pros and cons of having all the data. I've got 3.5 years worth. This is the thing when you don't know whether something's useful, you know, because if you go, oh, that's my baseline, that's been my baseline for a decade, then you can see if something's changed, but is it even useful to track it in the first place? I don't know. Then I have to start thinking about syncing and battery life and where it's going to be on my body because I just want freedom, you know. And I have to start thinking about my tan line because I have a horrible tan line in the shape of a watch to draw a line under it. Do I think the Apple Watch Ultra after 3.5 years is still worth it for women? I don't think so. I don't think that I need that level of information, though it's really painful to see that because I like a lot of information. I'm a data person, right? I like having all the metrics. I don't think it's worth £1,000. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. Did I feel like it was worth it when I bought it? Yeah, of course I was when I bought it. But in retrospect, having less screens is probably a good thing. Oh, I'm melting. That's cheery. About this time next month, I'll be doing another review, and that is why we bought a Magimix instead of a formula machine. Spoiler, it's because I like efficiency. This time next week, I'm going to tackle the English counties. There's a lot of them. They're a bit random. We'll see if I can make a pig's ear of it or not. Probably yes. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.